Hello once again, everyone. Welcome to Bible Views on Today's News. I'm your host, Jack Ward, and we're coming to you again today, second time this week, because there's so much going on in this old world of ours today that we just felt like we had to get back with you. But let me tell you, it is so difficult to decide what to talk about because there's so much happening so quickly. End times is coming upon us so quickly. We first of all want to pray for those affected by Hurricane Matthew. This is Saturday morning, so Hurricane Matthew is coming up into Georgia and South Carolina. 5 people have lost their lives in Florida, and my goodness, pray for the people of Haiti. Over 800 people have lost their lives. That place has been devastated again, and we pray for Haiti. Pray that they'll come to faith in Jesus Christ. You know, that is a nation that is steeped in voodooism and a satanic ritual, and we just pray for those people that they'll find the light of the Lord Jesus Christ and realize that their voodoo and their Satanism hasn't helped them one bit. Where's their God now? And we just pray that they'll have their eyes open to the truth. Things going on in Russia, and Russia has warned the U.S. not to interfere with military operations in Syria, even insisting that American aircraft could be targeted by their air defense systems. I'm getting these news headlines from VCY America on the Jim Schneider's News Roundup show. I just wanted to use that today to tell you, to get you to look and see what all is going on in the world, happening so quickly. And if you want to listen to Jim's show, you can go to, let's see, where do you go to? It's vcyamerica.org, vcyamerica.org. Or you can type in Crosstalk. That's the name of the program, and listen to his daily program, which lasts an hour each day, and it's very much worth your while. It's a very good program. Russia warns U.S. not to interfere with military operations in Syria. There's a real problem in Russia and Syria, and I mean, Syria is being destroyed, but there's a real problem with Russia and Turkey and Iran. Iran is saber-rattling again. Russia has developed advanced anti-missile systems for the first time. Russian authorities are conducting massive civil defense training involving 40 million people nationwide amid increased tensions after U.S.-Russia talks over Syria collapse. I mean, Syria is upset at the United States. They ended their year 2000 agreement with the U.S. to reduce their surplus weapons-grade plutonium. And Russia's just upset with the United States and seems to be preparing for war. 40 million people conducting massive civil defense training. They're building bunkers. They are training their people in civil defense. They're getting ready for something, people. I don't know if they will think that it's going to start somewhere, or they're going to start it, or I don't know. But Putin is definitely preparing his people. 40 million. Now that's not a little group. That's 40 million people. That's what is California has 10 million population, 12 million, not sure. That's 4 times the size of California. Preparing for civil defense training. Think about that, people. The U.S. Navy is seemingly ready to conduct operations in areas regarded as no-go missile zones. This would include the coastlines of Russia and China. United States Navy. At least I'm glad we're doing something. Our Navy, our military, seems to have been hamstrung by this administration, but at least the United States Navy is trying to move in proactively in these areas. U.S. warships sent to an area where Iran-backed rebels attacked Saudi-led coalition ship. United States Navy is active in the world. At least the Navy seems to be doing their job. Where I'm not blaming the military at all. I'm just blaming the administration for hamstringing our military at every turn. But the world is in upheaval. as the Bible tells us, there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. Wars going on and rumors of wars. When you got warships, when you got saber rattling by Russia, when you got China building up and making threats, and North Korea making threats, and Islam, ISIS making threats, that's rumors of wars. And they're everywhere, and you cannot deny that the world is a powder keg. There is no doubt about it. You cannot deny that unless you stick your head in the sand. Iran's making severe threats against the U.S. as they always do. They claim their ground troops outnumber ours 5-1. They claim that their ground troops outnumber ours 5-1. 44 Afghan troops visiting the U.S. for military training have gone missing in less than 2 years, presumably in an effort to live and work illegally in America. Or are they going to be Islamic terrorists? How do you lose 44 troops that have come here for military training? My goodness. Hungarian intelligence experts are warning that thousands of Muslim soldiers are ready to attack Europe. Thousands of Muslim soldiers ready to attack Europe. You know, Europe is the goal of Islam. One of the goals. They want to have the whole world, but they infiltrated Europe in the last year or so with this. What's it called when you flee your country due to war? I forget the name, but all these people coming in from Syria and all these other Muslim nations, these young men without families coming in. That's strange. We've been through that before, but now Hungarian intelligence warning Muslims are going to attack Europe. The world's a powder keg. ISIS tells jihadis to forget guns, just stab people. I read that article last week where ISIS is telling people just don't, if you can't get a hold of a gun, just stab people. And we've seen an example of that in a mall stabbing in the United States. I forget where it was at, but the guy came at the mall employee with a knife. So people, you need to be aware of your surroundings when you're in a mall, I'm telling you. Be aware of your surroundings, because now they've been told to stab people coming home from work. Look for people walking alone in a park. Look for people in any situation you can and stab them. Isn't that horrible? I mean, to think in a civilized world and a religion of peace. Now, remember now, Islam is a religion of peace, they say. But this is ISIS, so they're going to excuse it by saying, well, this is ISIS. Well, read the Quran and you'll find out that Islam is not a religion of peace. It's a religion of war, of murder, and death, and anything else they can get by with to kill their enemies. We know that London is undergoing divisiveness and just because of their Muslim mayor. And that's not going to work. The people in Britain are slamming the London's mayor for pushing a destructive and divisive separate immigration system for the capital. I mean, it's crazy. What were they thinking? Electing a Muslim mayor. I mean, of course, they have so many Muslims in London, it's probably a thing to come. You know, Islam wants to take over this world, and they do it by assimilation, not by... They would love to do it by war and conquering, but their method now is assimilation, and we're not smart enough to realize that in America. And Israeli police uncover a terror cell run by ISIS in East Jerusalem. But let me read this to you about a Muslim. The Kansas City School District has adopted a resolution banning hate speech against Muslim students while accusing America of having a long history of racism and xenophobia. The resolution was unanimously approved by the Kansas City Board of Education on September 28th. Are these people mad? The Kansas City School District adopted a resolution banning hate speech against Muslim students and accusing America. I love it when the latest statistics are showing that the NFL has lost viewers. I don't watch NFL anymore because of these Colin Kaepernick types that are taking a knee during the national anthem. Jason Whitlock a commentator for Fox Sports, was right on when he said that the left has taken over our sports, is trying to infiltrate our sports and politicize our sports, which it used to be just entertainment. Now it's got to be political. I mean, it's ridiculous. And now so the NFL ratings have gone down, costing them millions of dollars. The NBA has a new arena, the Sacramento Kings, which has 44 bathrooms, something like that. It has all gender bathrooms. My goodness, people. The NBA's new arena, called the Golden something other, for the Sacramento Kings, who are terrible. Terrible on the court, but man, they've got a great arena, and they've got 44 gender-free bathrooms. Now listen, before you criticize the Sacramento Kings, at least they've got 44 gender-free, and then they've got male, female, and gender-free. Now listen, you may say, well, that's crazy. That's pretty smart, because you know it's coming. Why don't you just adapt to it? I mean, the Sacramento Kings are not the moral police. They're just a sports arena trying to do the best they can. And I think they've done a smart thing here, so that men, if these people want to be wicked and evil and gender sensitive or gender idiotic, then they've got a place to go now. They can just mess with themselves and leave the men and the women's alone, which I think, I can't really criticize the Sacramento Kings for that. It's just the sign of the times, I guess, that they had to come up with a bathroom that's all gender. Hey, I don't blame them. That's what everybody's going to have to do to satisfy these perverts and this nation that's lost its mind. At least the Sacramento Kings won't have to face scrutiny because they don't allow men and men and women's bathrooms and vice versa. At least they've kind of escaped that issue. Smart move by them, you'd have to say, in this society we live in today. Hillary Clinton, the first major party presidential candidate to write an op-ed piece for an LGBTQ publication. I don't know the name of the publication, but Hillary Clinton, the first major party presidential candidate. Isn't she proud? She wrote an opinion piece, a editorial for an LGBTQ publication. Isn't that just fantastic for her? ABC has hired an 8-year-old boy to play a transgender child on Modern Family. Isn't that wonderful? Modern Family. Yeah, that kind of describes it. 8-year-old boy played a transgender boy on Modern Family. And what I hear, this boy is actually a transgender himself. And in real life, and his gay parents are very proud of him. He transitioned at 4. I don't know I guess he transitioned from a girl to a boy. If you're a transgender boy, that means you trans to a boy from a girl. I don't know what it means. It's crazy. But anyway, aren't we proud of the Modern Family? Amen to the Modern Family of today. They've lost their minds, craziness, insanity, immorality, sinful, shameful, all those things you want to say that God would say, and we are His spokesman, and we have to say it ourselves. The world's gone mad. At least there's an Oklahoma Senator, James Langford, known for conservative values, argues that the process that the executive branch used to implement President Obama's mandate to schools regarding transgender bathrooms was wholly unlawful. Attaboy James. We got one senator out of 50 who will stand up against this homosexual agenda. He calls the mandate to schools regarding transgender bathrooms is wholly unlawful. But every school is going to have to spend millions of dollars, billions nationwide, to have transgender bathrooms like the Sacramento Kings have done. And I would rather they do that than try to force boys and girls to switch bathroom, or not switch, but allow boys and girls and boys. I'd rather they have transgender bathrooms, because it's not going to get any better. This is, once you've opened this Pandora's box, it'll never go back. You're never going to put it back in the box. It's open now. We might as well deal with it the best we can. And I would say let's not put our kids in any more danger. Let's spend the billions of dollars to build transgender bathrooms. And I know that won't satisfy them, because they're going to be wholly offended that they have to go into a transgender bathroom and can't identify with their sex. You know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to sue that this offends me that I have to go into a transgender. I feel like I am a boy, even though it's a girl, or vice versa. You know what's going to happen. They're going to sue, and then we're going to have a mess over that. And it's a noble effort by the Sacramento Kings to build all gender bathrooms, but I think that's going to offend people. And we're going to be right back in the same mess we're in right now. All gender aren't going to use an all gender bathroom. That's probably going to be offensive to them. But so be it. Let's try. This is an evil, fallen world, sinful world, and we're just trying to make it through the best we can until Jesus comes to get his church. President Obama has proposed a new rule that would essentially prohibit states from defunding Planned Parenthood. We knew that was coming. We are going to see Obama push through agendas. He's going to, instead of legislate, he's going to, just do it anyway. He's just going to use a pen like he said he would, and just mandate instead of legislate. He's going to mandate programs and sue him if you want to, as Jim. I like what Jim Schneider said on the show, as just let Obama sue if he wants to. I mean, sue Obama. Obama's saying, sue me if you want to. Try it. Go ahead and sue me. He's just going to do whatever he wants. And it's going to get really bad in the last months before the election, especially if Hillary gets beat. He'll put things in effect that it's going to be hard for Donald Trump and his administration to undo. You know it's coming. But you know how I feel about that. I believe it's already a fixed game. Hillary's going to win the election. Governor Jerry Brown is at it again. Of California governor signed a bill initiating state control over religion by placing the state in a new role of judging religious matters on religious property. Now, what in the world? Jerry Brown has signed a bill punishing anyone who clandestinely records confidential communication with a healthcare provider, even if the behavior that's exposed is illegal. What's going on with him? Governor Jerry Brown signed legislation decriminalizing prostitution for minors. Jerry Brown of California gave the right to vote back to felons who are not doing time in state or federal prisons or on parole. You know, felons are never supposed to be able to vote again. But here we are. Good job, Jerry. Jerry has he's trying to fix the election in California. He's not protecting children, decriminalizing prostitution for minors. They'll no longer have to be given punishment for being prostitutes. Now, I can understand some of these kids may be caught up in something they can't get out of, and they probably don't need jail time, but it is a crime, and crimes can be committed to people of any age, and they need help, and that I can kind of see where he may be going, but the trouble is he's not going the way I'm thinking. He's just going to give them a free pass and let them do whatever they want to. But his bill about initiating state control over religion is just beyond me. I don't know what that's going to lead to. Placing the state in the new role of judging religious matters on religious property. I mean, that's odd, and that's religious freedom, my friends, is going to be disappearing from this world forever. And you know, Governor Jerry Brown signed a bill punishing anyone who clandestinely records confidential communication with a healthcare provider. You know what that is all about? That's about the guys that secretly recorded Planned Parenthood and caught them in their baby parts selling. And instead of congratulating whistleblowers, my goodness, whistleblowers are congratulated, honored, protected by law. Not anymore. Here's what this bill should have said. Anyone who clandestinely records confidential communication with Planned Parenthood, or records confidential communication from Planned Parenthood with a healthcare provider, that's illegal. Even if the behavior even if that behavior that's exposed is illegal, it says you can be punished for exposing confidential communication with a healthcare provider to someone else. That's even if that behavior is illegal, like selling baby body parts. You cannot secretly tape or whistle blow against somebody who's a healthcare provider that's doing evil. Anyway, that protects the abortion industry, doesn't it? That protects Planned Parenthood. What evil? The FBI agreed to destroy the laptops of 2 Clinton aides after granting them immunity. The FBI, James Comey, such a wimp, such a loser. How did he ever get a job like that? And I've read where FBI agents under him are just seething mad because of Comey's wussiness, is that a word? And fear, and it is just a joke. Bill Clinton criticized Obamacare last week while campaigning for his wife in Flint, Michigan. Why wouldn't he? It's awful. Rates have skyrocketed. My rates. I'm on the federal Blue Cross program. It's the largest healthcare provider in the world, and my rates keep going up every year. When before they were reasonable. Now I'm paying well over $500 a month in a government healthcare plan. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, I know that's maybe cheap to what some people are paying. That's the sad thing. Chelsea Clinton admitted that Obamacare is not affordable, yet her mother won't scrap it. It's awful. It's just awful. Jesus, come and get us. That's all we can That's all we can pray. And I've read where schools are teaching in curriculum that a boy is not necessarily a boy, a girl is not necessarily a girl. I mean, they're exposing young children to to gender dysfunction. It's just ridiculous. What's happened to it? Well, I know what's happened. Jesus said, evil men, the Apostle Paul said, evil men shall wax worse and worse. And expect these things. God is not taken off guard, and God is not confused by any of this. God knows what's going on, and He is on the scene and on the throne, and it's just, we could go on and on with more that's going on. That's the problem I've been having in doing these programs. What do you talk about? There's so much going on in the world today, and it is happening so fast. The wickedness, the evil, wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes. We've got natural disasters all around us. The hurricane in Florida and the United States and Haiti, and killing so many. And it's just so sad. And people need to be ready to meet the Lord. They need to be ready for Jesus to come and get them in rapture or in death. Or be ready to go to jail for our faith, because it's coming, people. If the Lord tarries, you know it's coming. When Jerry Brown in California can come in and they can check up on you and see what your church is doing, they can judge religious matters on religious property. I don't know what that has to do with, but it's going to come to the point we can't criticize anything the government does. And that's why I believe that Hillary will be elected, that she will continue this ungodly agenda. I think unless we pray and pray for God to slow it down, that's all we can ask for. because the Bible doesn't give us any hope that man will solve his problems. We know that. The Bible has a Bible prophecy has an expiration period, and we know that things aren't going to get any better. But we can just pray for a respite. Maybe if Donald Trump gets elected, and I'm not telling you who to vote for, that's up to you. But maybe, and he's not, by no means is he a perfect choice. By no means. But at least he does espouse some things that the left loves, and he not espouses, but he hates some of the things the left loves. He talks okay, and may spare us some things for a while. He may delay our arrest and all that. That's why I don't think he's going to be elected. I just think that evil men will wax worse and worse. I mean, they'll fix the election. They're going to get all these jailbirds and felons registered to vote, and all these they won't allow all some states want to do is have a simple ID, show your ID when you vote. They don't even want that. The left doesn't want that. You know why? So they can fix the election. Donald Trump has no shot to beat the elite in this election, and that's why things are going to continue as they are on the course that we're on, worse and worse. But don't be afraid, don't be alarmed. Look up, your redemption draweth nigh. Well, that's all the time we have for today, and a lot going on in the world. We just pray that you'd keep your eyes on the sky and keep your feet on the ground, serve the Lord each day, and look for His coming. This is Bible Views on Today's News with Pastor Jack Ward.